This episode of Convert to Raid is brought to you in part by World of Tanks. Play for free and help directly support this show by heading to ctrdeal.com/tanks. Welcome home, Raiders. This week, the Black Prince is watching you, so I guess it's time for your next alt to get his cloak. Another round of heavy revisions in the Alpha this week, and so much more Shadowmoon Valley. Ooh, this is CTR number 147.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the world of Warcraft.
From the brand new Signals Media Power Station, the podcast Power Station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is, June 22nd. Happy summer, everybody. Welcome to summer. And it is now 11:06 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and thank you so much for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land as stuff happens in the background. I don't even know what that was. My name is Pat Crane. I'm the host of the show. And I'm still known as Zug around Airy Peak most of the time. Also Fangnail, my druid that I'm still raiding with, as always. And the players are here as well. So let's get to them. Now, from Serene, Seattle, from Soccerville, USA, it's Darius!
Hi, yeah, it's pretty close. It's mega soccer here. Everyone's watching soccer. I'm missing soccer. Can we end the show now?
No. No, we cannot. So sorry. Just continues watching. Well, while he watches soccer, let's head over to La La Land, Hollyweird, California, to the Funky Monk. It's Coltrane.
Fortune cookie say.
Soccer.
A druid going through teenage years. Experience wild growth.
I don't like you. I don't like you making fun of druids. I don't like you making fun of druids.
Is he talking about soccer?
No, he's talking about druids, unfortunately.
Yes.
Wild growth.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That was awful.
What?
That was bad.
Zuggers, it can't be as bad as the new druid tier set. I mean, come on. It can't be as bad
Stay
as
claxy, everybody. Stay claxy.
That's true.
That's right. Stay claxy, druid.
We'll get to that in a sec, I'm sure.
Stay claxy. Well, that was sent from Mr. Uncloaked, who is actually in our chat room.
Oh, well, you know.
So big shout out to Mr. Uncloaked.
Thank you for participating, as always. It was
10 out of 10 bongos.
It was horrible.
That is the most popular man in chat right now. He is a celebrity, Mr. Uncloaked. Or he's getting tomatoes thrown at him.
Says his life is complete.
Right. Yes.
You have very low standards, sir.
No, he is right on. He is right on.
Yeah.
Well done,
right.
sir. Well done.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing this week in WoW. And Darius, maybe I should start with you. I saw you all over the place this week. What's
I don't
going
know what
on?
I'm doing with my life. So Blizzard announced something that we're gonna talk about later in the show.
Yeah.
Basically, that prompted me to use my 2 boosts because I have 2 accounts. So use my 2 boosts to boost up a monk and a druid again.
Nice.
And because of this thing Blizzard is adding, I am now playing my druid and doing the one thing that I can't stand in the game,
which is the cloak quest.
Yep, again.
Yeah.
I am doing LFRs in order to do the cloak quest.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm severely undergeared, but gemmed, enchanted, reforged, and everything. So I'm going through, I'm healing, I'm tanking, I'm doing what I can. And I'm going through all that stuff. I did all of Siege of Orgrimmar, LFR, got no gear. I did Flex 1, got no gear. And then somehow Wyatt, our hunter from Asparagus Initiative, convinced me to run Siege of Orgrimmar normal. That was very interesting. I healed that, by the way.
Yeah. It was because you actually whispered me in game and you said, "How do heal?"
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm
I think I did that mid Protectors fight too.
And you were like, it was really funny because you were like, so does Wrath actually, give you mana back? And I'm like, no, that's a shaman. That's not a druid thing.
I thought that was in there, or maybe they talked about that, or maybe that was coming or something. I thought druids could Wrath spam and get mana back, or do some atonement healing through it or something.
Atonement, that'd be great. Atonement healing for a druid would be awesome.
You know how you heal, Darius? Wild growth. Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
That is how you heal.
That is. It's rejuve, wild growth, and
it all ties together.
It's all the hots, baby. It's all the hots. Oh man.
So I healed that. We got all the way up to Zach Galifianakis, and I think I got 2 or 3 pieces of gear.
Nice.
Which wasn't too bad. But I am on, finished the sigils part of the legendary quest, and now I get to sit 3 weeks on Valor capping.
Yeah.
Just in time to miss the buff.
That's fun. That's fun. And
they gotta raise that cap. They gotta raise that Valor cap, don't you think?
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second because it all ties into everything that was happening this week.
You're right. I'm getting ahead of myself.
We'll get to that.
I get excited. So.
Well, what were you up to this week, Colt?
Old Coltrane. So it's time to talk about a little bit of raiding. Yeah. And I'm not just talking about the character from Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about a raid team known as Rectify. Rectified. Yes. Woo! Man, it gets me pumped every time.
It's a good one.
I think it's just me that gets pumped though.
It's a good one. I like it.
I'm alone, dancing. But I'll do it all day. I don't care, baby. I don't care. So, raid team.
Yeah.
We had a new individual that you might know that raided with us this week.
Oh, who's that?
An individual by the name of Mike Shaffnet.
Oh, Shaffnet
from Gamebreaker.
Yeah.
Yes, he raided with Rectified this week.
That's cool. Yeah, I knew that he was looking for a team, and he's playing Feral Druid, right? I mean, that's kind of
playing Feral Druid. So Mike has gotten into the same type of industry that I do. He's gotten into movie trailers. He's just starting out, getting into trailers, and he's quickly realized that his schedule is completely he's in real trouble. There's no more free time. There's no more you have no time at all during the week. Yeah. And he's realized that really the only time that he can raid is early 6 a.m. Saturday mornings, like myself. I mean, I raid at 6 a.m., but the reason is because of my job. Right. It's so crazy Monday through Friday. We got to do it Saturday morning. So Mike says, Colt, let's do some raiding. Let's do it. So we get him in there, right? And he was undergeared. And we thought, all right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to clear up to spoils on heroic. Then maybe we'll switch it to normal. And we're going to do a 14 out of 14 and get Mike Shaffnet some gear, right? Some agility leather.
All right.
We go 14 out of 14 bosses. And you know how much gear Mike got?
All of the gear.
0.
He got 0. Hey,
0.
Hey, does that mean that he's
Dork of the Week?
I think maybe so.
Yes.
I think maybe so. Way to go, Mike. You're the only guy I know that could get nothing.
Not a single piece of loot, be it gear, armor, weapons, rings, even a token. He didn't even get a token that said Druid on it. Not a single piece of loot dropped out of 14 bosses.
That's so tough.
It's unbelievable. So he was like, well, because his deeps were a little low, but that's just because he had no gear.
Right.
And he was like, well, I'd like to say that I'll do better next week, but I got no gear. Because he's in flex, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but he did a great job. He used to be a server first type raider. He used to be a hardcore raider, and he picked up the mechanics real fast. Did a great job. He's a great raider. He just needs gear, so we take him in there. 14 out of 14 bosses, no gear. So
congratulations, Mike.
That's right. So let's all raise a glass to poor Mike Shaffnet. Pour a little out for our homies, Mike Shaffnet, and hopefully next week he will get some more gear. But he did a great job. It was a great raid with Mike. He's a great guy, and it was a good time.
Was he raiding in his yellow dress?
No,
I don't have that picture, but
Right. No, it was early. It was early. So I don't know if he wears it to bed.
That's more of an evening out, I think.
Yeah, that's more of an evening out.
Right,
yeah, you're
right.
right. But yeah, it was fun. It's good getting back in there and taking care of business. Cool. And actually, our raid leader, Elder Shield, is actually going to be taking a step back because he's moving to the East Coast, the time change.
Yep.
So huge shout out to Eric Zijo, Elder Shield. Because he's no longer going to be with the team, at least for now. So he was an incredible raid leader, so big shout out to him.
Hey, how about a big applause?
Yes, absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, I know that for me, this week it's been trying to do Valor cap and everything like that. Just trying to do that. That's all. That's it. That's it for me. But we should probably talk about the official 25-man raid team for the Convert to Raid podcast. The Asparagus Initiative. So there.
Where's the yay? Come on, Darius.
Darius
Stop watching soccer.
There wasn't a whole lot of yay this week.
Right. Well, so Darius, what happened this week with the Asparagus Initiative?
Well, we spent the first night clearing. What did we cleared up to? I think Thok. Or right before Thok. Yeah, because we cleared all the way through spoils on heroic. And then we got to Thok, and where we had stalled all the previous week on Thok for 4 hours, we managed to get them down in less than an hour.
Yep.
Nice.
I don't know what was different because we brought pretty much the same people. But everyone
I think it was just those couple of key positions that were like, we had I think a couple more hunters. And that helped a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it was
on Thok fight for sure. That definitely helps.
Yeah. So I think that we also kind of played the bait game a little bit better, where he was actually taking the bait and not selecting priests like every time.
Well, he was selecting priests. It just happened to be a healer, which was fine every single time. It kept picking one of our healers.
Right. So we managed to get through Thok again, which was good.
Druids were using wild growth a bit more.
Yes,
good.
for sure.
Good.
And then we went to the next one.
Then we went to Siegecrafter.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Now I hear he's a breeze on heroic.
Oh yeah, he's really easy.
Piece of cake.
Nothing.
Piece of cake.
My typical approach for a boss is we talk about strategy, we look at it, we attempt the boss, and then we attempt to execute on the strategy that we talked about. My strategy for this boss was kind of, all right, here's generally where we're going to stand. Let's just pull this thing and see what happens.
Right.
And then it all fell apart real quickly.
Right. Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, our raid leader on our second night has to miss like an hour or two sometimes. And so he wasn't there, Torrentine, or Turpentine, either way.
Turp.
So he wasn't there. And so when it comes to Darius, he's just like, let's just pull it. You should know the strat by now. Let's just go.
Yeah. You've all watched the video. Here's the markers. We're going to pull this.
Right.
And then then I forgot we had hunters. So it all fell apart.
Yeah.
So our hunters have a lot of responsibility on that fight.
Yes.
They're the ones doing the belts every time. And I think maybe twice the entire night they managed to all do it without dying.
And one of them was the last attempt of the night. So they stayed up for like 7 rounds or whatever, and it was that was great. That was really cool. Actually, big shout out to the hunters of the group. I'll give you a big applause for that.
Kudos to them for actually putting in the effort, and they're doing the theory crafting, and they're talking about it and everything. And it is a hard thing to do. Yeah. But they do have a lot of responsibility that they need to execute on that fight.
It's funny. It's funny when you have to theory craft one part of that fight. Like it takes a whole group of people to theory craft one little part of that fight.
Hey, you realize you just insulted them and then complimented them in the same 30 seconds. You realize that, right?
Yeah,
they are hunters.
Okay. I'm just pointing that out. They got a lot of responsibility, and then they're great job, hunters.
But chances are they had deterrents up for one of those things, so only one of them got through. So they either got complimented or insulted. So
Right. Gotcha.
they're hunters.
So, but it was not a bad night overall. I mean, this is going to take some time. I think that how many polls do we have? It was
well, we pulled for about 4 hours, and I think our best attempt
3
was maybe like 75, 3 hours. Yeah, maybe 75, 80%.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot to deal with. Our group is very, very melee heavy, especially with all of our hunters being up on the belt. Mm-hmm. So we have problems with like the bombs that come down are targeting melee almost every time, and that's hard to deal with because you can't really kill them when you can't melee swing them. Right. And then mostly it's just getting the pattern down, though. It's a pattern of move here, wait, then go here, kill this kind of thing. So once we get that pattern down, we should be okay.
It sounds a lot like Nurashen. I mean, I don't know what the problem is here, guys. It's an easy fight. Yeah. I mean, come on. Heroic Siegecrafter? That's actually a huge favorite. That's Celestalon's favorite fight in Siege of Orgrimmar. So if anyone is struggling, we can always blame Celestalon.
Blame, Celestalon, Celestalon. Blame Celestalon, Celestalon.
Oh, yes, Celestalon.
We haven't heard that in a while.
We have a lot to blame Celestalon for.
We do.
I think
we do indeed.
Over the next,
especially the Warriors.
Warriors, man, you guys got it this week. Monks got it this week. Boy,
a lot of people got it this week. And you know what? I think Celestalon went on vacation, so he was just like, "Boom, peace."
He's like, "I'm out. Later.
I'm out." There it was. Just drop the mic. Mortal Strike no longer generates rage. Peace. I'm out. Yo. Good luck, boys! Woo!
Right.
That's awesome.
Oh man. Hey, a couple of things before we get going into the show part of the show. I wanna update some people on what's going on, kind of outside of WoW a little bit anyway. And one of them is Minnesota Meetup. Now, Minnesota Meetup, we've done this every year, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. There's been like 30 to 50 people. I don't even know. I can't count that high, so it's a lot of people show up, and we have a good time, and we've traditionally done it at like the big box bowling alleys with the arcade, and it has everything. This year we're going to switch it up a little bit because last year it seemed like most people were hanging out in the bar.
Right.
So we're gonna move it to a pub. Why not?
There you go.
Yeah. So we're going to, it's going to be Saturday, July 26th, 3 to 7 p.m., happy hour, of course. And it's going to be at the Herkimer Pub in Uptown Minneapolis. If you are in the area, please stop on by. There's going to be some games. There's going to be, and of course, the food and the brew. They do their own. It's really good. Yummy. But Jules from Torrent Think Tank is going to be there. I'm going to be there. I think the guys from Super Number One are going to be there, Kevin and Andrew. And should be a good time. And so swing on by if you want to do that. The other thing... and I'm going to try to put that up on the Convert to Raid site here after the show. We'll see if I can do it. But
where was it again?
It's at the Herkimer. If you go to
Did you just make that up?
Herkimer.com.
You made that word up.
It's in the heart of Uptown Minneapolis. It's really cool.
If you don't want people to go and hang out with you, just say so. You don't have to lie to them.
Yeah, right.
No. It's a good place. It's a really good place.
We're meeting at Lenny's.
Right.
It's at Lenny's.
Right. No, it's called the Herkimer, and so we'll get it up on the website along with directions and all that kind of stuff, because I know that before we've had people come from like Iowa and Wisconsin, Chicago, Canada. People have come from. So I mean, it's really weird. Speaking of weird, we lost Coltrane. That's all right. We don't need him anyway.
No, we don't. No. We're good without him for the rest of the show.
We're fine. We're good.
Oh dear.
Oh, maybe he's back. We lost.
I think
your camera.
Oh
for sure.
dear.
We lost your camera.
I'm hearing
for sure.
things.
That's all right.
Going crazy.
No big deal. No big whoop. We got the Asparagus. I love the Asparagus.
That's right.
Oh no! There you are.
Which is better or worse?
I don't know. So you can join us there. The other thing is we still have the contest going. If you are a CTR Guild member, we still have the 9 of 9 Gold Challenge mode run with the Guild alone. They've been really great in supporting our community and supporting the community of the server, of course. They're really good guys and excellent raiders and PvE players. So, go check that out. It's in the forums, right? Right there,
Yes.
Darius?
Yes.
Okay. And I have one correction. Last week, I stated that the Warforged Nightmare looked a lot like the Hearthsteed mount. It does
Yeah.
not. It does
It
not.
does not at all.
It doesn't.
It's not even in the ballpark.
No, it does. It doesn't have that big butt like the Hearthsteed does. But because one of the guys on the team, he put up the hitching post and everybody mounted up at like protectors or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, this doesn't. It looked like it on paper. It kind of looked like it, but it doesn't.
It's the same thing.
I don't
It's just recolored.
It is not
Same
a
thing.
recolor. You're
the same
insane.
thing.
I even said it last week. I'm like, what are you talking about? This thing's got armor. It's got this. it's got that.
And it's more. It's more.
No one,
it's more
no
like
one
a.
listens to Coltrane. I forget that Coltrane.
Yeah, it's
guy.
more like a mechanical mount or something. I don't know.
Like those gnome mounts. Now you're saying it looks like one of those mechanical gnome mount things.
Kind of
What?
does. I'm just
What
pulling
is
your leg.
happening? Are you using your eyeballs to determine this? This is insane. All right. I'll just calm down. But it looks nothing at all like those gnome mechanical things.
Right,
All
right. The other piece of news before we get into Raiden news is we have this really weird story about this really weird guy who did something really weird.
That's right.
Darius, what did this really weird guy do?
So this really weird guy decided he didn't want to pick a faction when he, hit level 10 or whatever as a panda.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the time, or not, it's not the Time of Silence, the Wandering Isle, and he went there and he was like, well, I don't want to pick a faction. I want to stay neutral. And he stayed neutral and he started picking herbs and I think it was just picking herbs, or maybe he was mining as well. But
Yeah, it was mining as well.
he did those two things and would hit cap and then drop the profession and relearn it. And he did this over and over and over again until he hit level 90.
Jeez.
So
Louise.
he's
Right.
stuck on the Wandering Isle as a neutral faction at max level.
Right. Big shout out to him, though. I mean, I think that deserves some applause right there. I mean,
That's insane.
that is.
So he's on the Wandering Isle.
Yeah, he's on the
Yeah,
Wandering Isle. He's
stuck
90, and he can't get off. He can't get out of there because you'd have to pick a faction.
Right.
So it's
He has
really weird.
173.5 days / played on just that character.
oh,
Wow.
that is a lot of days, man.
They asked him how long he's been working on this. He said off and on since September 2012.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
I know.
What?
I know. It's
All
weird.
right.
So
Right. That OP Peace Bloom, yo.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's right.
Peace Bloom is
got-
30 XP for
That's right.
Yeah,
picking
he said. Yeah, he said he got about.
It
He
was-
said it was about 20 experience for Peace Bloom and 30 experience for Earth Root, and that was, what is it at the end? Like 50 million experience you need to,
right. And that was
to
with
get from 89 to 90.
that was with rested XP. He
Yeah.
never ran out at rested, which was good. Oh man, I don't know. All right.
That's awesome. Well, props to
He-
Double Agent. That's actually incredible. That's
He
unbelievable.
can't.
Yeah.
He can't queue for dungeons. He can't queue for. He tried to. He can't queue for LFRs, flex scenarios. He can't even queue for world bosses and nothing. There's nothing he can do. He is stuck there
It won't allow him to, even
No,
at
he
that level.
because he's neutral.
Because he's
That was
neutral.
faction.
Faction.
You need a
So it'd be-
faction in order to
He would
do
be the only
anything.
person in there. He can't Zen Pilgrimage. He tried a Scroll of Recall. He's tried everything. He cannot get off the island. He doesn't
Right.
want to, but
Right. He's
just prove it.
He's tried swimming around it and all that kind of stuff, and nope, can't get out of there. So
That's insane.
yeah. Congratulations to you for wasting
Yeah.
time since September 2012.
No, man, he's a trailblazer. I mean, no one else has done this, so I got to give big props to Double
Yeah.
Agent, man, because that's
No,
a
it's-
lot of work, and no one else has ever done
wants
this.
to do this.
Well,
Nobody
Double
wants to do it
Agent
because
did.
it's insane.
I
It's
think it's cool,
craziness.
man. I
His
think
plan is to get to 100 when WAD comes out.
On
That's
the
his
isle.
plan.
On
On
the
the
isle.
isle?
On the
Yep.
isle.
to get to 100.
Yeah. At 30 XP.
All right, listen, double agent, settle down. You got to just ease off the throttle here.
Right.
Does he really want to get to 100? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
all right.
That's what
Go
he
for
says. That's what he says the plan is right now. So I guess we'll we'll see what happens. I don't know.
He started his own faction at this point.
Yeah, he is.
own
He really
faction.
has. He has no faction.
Right.
So he has his own, which is cool. All right. Now we should also talk about one of our sponsors for the show, and that is Coltrane.
Tanks!
That's right, World of Tanks. And we actually have something really cool for you guys as well this week. We got some new free stuff for you guys. And I'll put up the B-roll on the video stream here. Now, of course, I want to talk to you about the 9.0 update, where we're talking about historical battles like Battle of the Bulge. They've got new tanks, they've got new tank textures, new models, all that kind of stuff. The thing about World of Tanks is that it's easy in, easy out. You get in there, you play. Each match takes about, maybe like 10, 15 minutes. If you're good, if you're bad like me, it can be over in just a matter of moments. And we actually have something really cool right now. If you go to our URL, ctrdeal.com/tanks, and you put in the invite code GBTV, Gamebreaker TV, GBTV, you can get 3 days of premium, 500 gold, a new tank slot, and a T2LT premium tank. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. We're talking about tanks, people.
Tanks!
That's right. So make sure to head over to ctrdeal.com/tanks and enter the code GBTV to get all that free stuff. It's actually a really cool deal, and it's available right now for you guys. So ctrdeal.com/tanks. A lot of fun to play, especially when like this week the alpha was down a little bit.
Right. Just a little bit.
Yeah, there hasn't been any real new content in WoW for a couple weeks.
Just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So it's why not go and
Blow stuff
jump in
up.
the tank and blow stuff up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or get blown up in my case. Either way. ctrdeal.com/tanks. Let's get to the news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening in the raiding news around World of Warcraft. And first up, the prince is looking at you. That's right. He has his eyes set upon you. I don't know what that means, though. Darius, what does this mean?
It means I am angry.
Why are you angry?
So Blizzard has decided to add a buff to the game. It's called the Gaze of the Black Prince. And what it is it will it buffs your reputation gain with the Black Prince by 100%. So you're earning double rep with the Black Prince. It also increases the chance of obtaining the items from the legendary quest. So the Sigils of Wisdom and Power, the Secrets of the Empire, Titan Runestones, all those kind of things. It significantly increases the chance of obtaining these. When I was doing it, it was 100% drop on these things. So
Wow.
significant increase. But it went active on June 17th, and it will deactivate on June 30th. 13 days. Now, if you
2
start
weeks.
the quest,
Yeah.
even with 100% drop on Sigils of Wisdom and Power,
Mhm.
complete that the first week. Second week, you complete the 2,000 Valor. Third week, you're 3,000 Valor. You're now past June 30th.
Yeah.
So this buff, all it got you was your Sigils of Wisdom and Power, which have a pretty good drop chance already.
Yeah.
Thank you, Blizzard, for nothing.
Well,
Oh,
hold on a second. For those guys that are beyond the 3,000 Valor cap thing or Valor quest, whatever, for those guys, this is actually pretty good. This is a good deal if you're on your last stages of getting the cloak, right? So I mean, it's not totally worthless, but it is worthless if you are just starting or kind of at that beginning stage, right?
Well,
So-
Blizzard has also been sending emails to people saying that have deactivated their account since MoP came out, saying, "Hey, you should come back. It's now really easy to get the legendary quest or the legendary cloak. It's here, the Gaze of the Black Prince. Well, no, it's not. It's still just as difficult because you could have done Sigils of Wisdom and Power in a week already.
Right.
It's very angry about this.
What?
This
That's crazy.
This is ridiculous. This buff needs to stay longer or remove this 3K Valor thing. This doesn't seem very well thought out to me.
Colt, what do you make of all this?
Well, I hate to say this, but I have to agree with Derry.
What? No, say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so.
You can't agree with Derry's ever. This is the show is based on. You guys disagree.
You're right. No, he's right. Listen. Derry's is right. He's right. This thing, I think, needs to be like permanent. This needs to be like a permanent buff because, yes, it's a little slow right now, right? So how do you get things rolling and going? You play alts, right? Yep. You get them geared up. You get them that legendary cloak. It gets people fired up. They start playing a new class. They start digging it. This needs to be a permanent buff up until 6.0, in my opinion, because I want to play my alts now. You know what I mean? Like, I can get the Valor on this and that. You know what I mean? But if it ends, then it's back to now I'm back to this. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, what am I doing? So this needs to be a permanent increase. They kind of nerf the rating content. They need to nerf the legendary cloak requirement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that this needs to be a permanent buff and keep this bad boy rolling because it encourages people to continue. It extends the life of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you've got all these people coming back, reactivating for Warlords or going to reactivate for Warlords, they're going to get their free boost to 90 when they buy Warlords. You want them playing in that interim time, and giving them this buff is going to do that. But giving it to people and taking it away is that's just mean, Blizzard.
You know what, fellas? This may be a historic moment on the show. Since its inception, almost 3 years ago now, we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary.
Wow.
I think this is the first time in show history where we all agree.
Whoa!
We all agree. Everybody agrees on this show.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
My work here is done.
Darius drops mic and leaves and goes watches soccer for a while.
Big applause.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I think we'll do that. So yeah, this is not good, fellas. I don't have my sunglasses again. They're in the other room. What the hell?
Right.
So, but this is not good. This is not cool, right? Because it's only 2 weeks, and they did the same thing with the Valor. With the Valor capping thing, where it was only like a week and a half or whatever, and so it's just kind of like, all right. Okay, great. Thank you. Don't get me wrong. Thank you for making it a little bit easier for some of these folks to get through. But why 2 weeks?
And when they buffed the Valor, I felt that they needed to extend the cap.
I know.
What?
Keep people playing. Don't let them switch over to Wildstar. What are you doing?
Don't say that name.
Said that word.
Craziness. Craziness. Make this permanent, increase the Valor cap, we're good to go.
I think they do. I think they really need to increase the Valor cap right now, especially. I mean,
and make this a permanent buff, man.
Right, because they had they made it so that you could upgrade your gear by another 2 or 8 points, sorry. And so then you needed more Valor for that, and then you needed more Valor for the cloak quest to get that stuff out, and just do something with that, Blizz, please, because that's painful when you have all the tools at your disposal to get this stuff done quickly, and then you're gated by something like that, by one thing. Ugh, so tough. But we all agree that's weird.
There it is.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
All right, so this goes on through the end of the month, right? The deal, through June 30th. So make sure to get in as much as you possibly can if you're not on the Valor Quest. If you're on the Valor Quest,
sorry.
Wah, wah, wah.
Exactly. All right.
Sad trombone.
Speaking of sad trombones, let's move to the Warlords Alpha, shall we? Shadowmoon Valley was this week. They actually unleashed the Alliance side of things. where you start off in Shadowmoon Valley and you go and do all the quests, and the quests seemed very familiar if you saw the Horde side of things. Very familiar quest line, actually throughout. It was get this stuff, kill these things, and then you can get your garrison, go in right away, and then do garrison quests to get you started at least into the zone. Did you guys get a chance to play any of Shadowmoon Valley? Colt, you were busy.
Yes, I had to work late, and every time I tried to log in, I got critical error.
Yeah.
And servers down and everything. Like, it was just bad luck. Every time I tried, I couldn't, I want to play. I couldn't log in. So,
right.
I mean, I want to test. I don't want to play. I want to test and find bugs.
Test and find bugs. I don't want to play. Darius, did you get a chance to test and find bugs?
It was the same thing. Whenever I wanted to log in between running LFARs and everything else I was doing, I got the error and just got frustrated and stopped trying. So
right. And I guess the window was pretty narrow on this stuff because they actually ended up taking down the whole build. They just said, you know what, screw it, we're out, and we're not gonna be, the alpha is not gonna be back until Monday. So it's still down, it's still off, still get critical errors, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, great.
That's the thing. Is so many people are like, I'm so mad I'm not in the alpha. And it's like, well, even the people in the alpha aren't in the alpha. So I wouldn't stress about it.
Right.
Really.
Right. Yeah.
We got time on this, baby. We got time.
I did get to see some streams though of people going through, like Olivia Grace and others, and it seemed really cool. I mean, the zone seemed really cool, and the quest seemed, like I said, like the Horde kind of, and so. You know, it just looked really cool. Oh, one of the things that I thought was cool was in Olivia's stream anyway. The garrison for the Alliance side was actually much smaller than the Horde side. I don't know if it was like half of the size.
It's because Blizzard hates the Alliance. I thought that was obvious.
That may be true. That is. Talk to Bashiok about that. He plays Alliance. I know he does.
right, exactly.
But it was kind of cool. It was kind of neat to see that they shrunk it down a little bit, because I know that when I was testing and finding bugs, you know, quote unquote, that it seemed the Horde side seemed gigantic, and I was getting lost in it. Like I couldn't find my way out of it. You know, I'd like go out, run up the little hill, and I go, oh, this is a dead end.
The Horde garrison?
Yeah, the Horde garrison.
I found that following the paths that go out usually help you.
Yeah,
find
but there
your
was
way
one
out.
path that went up the hill and then like went to a dead end, and I'm like, what?
And then I kept on the Hulkster,
and I kept on going up that the whole time. So I don't know why.
The Rolkster.
Well, now let me ask you guys real quick. Now, in the Alliance starting zone, this is in Shadowmoon Valley. Isn't this supposed to be where the Black Temple and all that stuff is? Right?
Yes.
Isn't this area?
Yes.
So this is like pre-Black Temple, before it gets all evil and crazy, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool.
I know.
I'd really like to see it.
Me too. I'd really like to see it too.
Would, yeah.
Bring the alpha back up. Let's go see it.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, it looks like it's gonna all be part of that same thing. So we'll just check it out as soon as it comes up on Monday, I guess.
There it is.
Or whatever. I don't know. But in the latest build, there were some things that actually happened, and some people like hopped on the chopping block, and one of them was warriors, like we discussed. The other one was monks. Last week it was druids and shaman. This week it's monks and warriors, right? So, Colt, you want to run us through some of the monk changes that happened this week?
Sure. Just to read off the list here, dematerialize is gone. Healing sphere, the spell, the actual castable spell where you put on your hotbar, you take it and you drop a good old globe of healing goodness.
Right.
That's gone. All right, forget that. That's history. which is fine. I kind of like it though, because I can just pop it on my feet, like in Iron Juggernaut, Heroic Iron Juggernaut. You know, when you get blasted off to the side, and I can just sit on my own and just heal myself. You know, I'm like, I'm cool, healers. Don't worry about me.
Right.
Sparring is gone. Spinning Fire Blossom is gone, which is fine. To be honest, as a PvE player, I never, ever had that on my bar. Like, ever.
Good.
I've heard that some monks use that for Heroic Siegecrafter for help with belts, but I don't know most Windwalker monks in the PvE environment that ever actually use that. So I think spinning Fire Blossom gone, no, it'll be a good deal.
Right.
Combo Breaker is gone, but I got to understand it more because it seems like it's built into the stance or something like that.
Wasn't that one of the things, though, that you were like so excited about was that they had Combo Breaker in
yes.
in the game?
I mean, it's called Combo Breaker. I mean, come on.
Right.
How awesome is that?
It's cool.
Combo Breaker.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if they could add that voice thing to it, that'd be great. Desperate Measures is gone. Touch of Death, Zen Meditation, and Transcendence gone for Mistweavers.
Which is weird, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because Transcendence now, I think they've lowered it. You can cast it faster now. It's supposed to be a lot better, but it's gone for Mistweavers. Zen Med no longer redirects harmful spells. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So
Right.
that's the rub. So yeah, monks, a little bit of pruning. On the Windwalker side, not too much. Not too much stuff that's going to affect our rotation. It appears they seem pretty happy with Windwalkers overall. We're pretty much still using the same abilities. We're still doing the same jazz, baby.
Right.
So we'll see.
And it actually seems like, monks overall are in a pretty good place. I think, since they're new, I mean, they're still trying to figure it out, but they're paring it back. Well, Mistweavers was always kind
Mistweavers are kind of getting an overhaul, and they kind of always have. Like Mistweavers, I mean, these poor guys, my goodness. I mean, Windwalkers, we would complain that our mastery would change every single patch,
right?
But Mistweavers, holy cow, they've been going up and down and left and right. So.
Yeah. Okay, so there were some balance issues with Mistweavers, but I think that monks, the brewmasters and Windwalkers anyway, they've been pretty happy with overall, and it seems like they're just kind of taking some of those spells that they were like, we need to get rid of some things. Let's see, how about this half? Okay, great, perfect. Monks
are great.
And then there was
Best
also
class in the game.
There were also some warrior changes, Dairies, weren't there?
Yeah. So I don't have a warrior to max level yet, so I don't really understand. I just assume, based on what Torage tells me, that they just stand there and swing gnomes around. And that's every button on their bar except a banner. Every once in a while he throws down a banner, but that's just what I assume warriors do. So when they mentioned all this stuff, I was like, wow, they have other spells. Go figure.
Yeah.
So we've got Warrior, Single-Minded Fury, and Titan's Grip are both gone.
Right.
They're replaced by Crazed Berserker.
Mm-hmm.
Sword and Board is gone. That sounds like a torture technique. So that's probably good that they got rid of that.
Right.
Defensive Stance only, Spell Reflection, Vigilance, Mocking Banner, Taunt, and more are all defensive stance now. So the other stances, you can't do the other things. And Battle Stance only, you get Sweeping Strike and Whirlwind.
Yep, and the cool part was I thought that warrior stances once again have their own action bars. So as you switch stances, you can actually put different items on your bars. Since it seems like they're really separating out who can do what in what stance.
They never had that.
I don't know if they never had that. I know that druids have had that for ever.
Druids and monks and all those multi-classes all had that. Why warriors didn't have that? That's silly.
Either they took it out recently or something. I don't know.
Pretty sure they did. I thought they did have that, actually. I'm pretty sure. I have a warrior, but I don't really play him as much. I kind of want to get back into it. But the one thing I do know is that warrior, there's some rage. No pun intended. I apologize. Sorry,
yes,
that was
there was
bad.
A pun intended.
That was bad even for me. There was some rage on the forums. Warriors, because there's a lot of major changes here, but I don't understand it, so I can't really comment on it. Yeah. But all I've been hearing is that there's something like Mortal Strike now, like arms is really changing. It no longer generates rage, and there's all this other stuff. So I don't know what's going on. But Celestalon said that there's it wasn't feeling right anyway, and that there'll be more changes to come for warriors. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
From what I read, it looked like that there was some miscommunication between what was on the patch notes and and now it just says, hey, there are more changes to come for arms, so just stay tight. Essentially, I mean, it seems like arms is getting a total rehaul.
Right. Yeah, I think
so. Get ready, warriors.
Yeah, I think it's a big change to how it feels and how it plays, everything about it. So, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, change is good. Players like that. Increases the length of the game. You know what I mean? Yep. Keeps players. I think change is good in a game. So, but at first, man, it's scary. It's scary. So we'll see what happens with the warriors.
Now, who hasn't been touched yet as far as like the big changes, the ability pruning and all that kind of stuff? Who hasn't been hit yet? Rogues haven't been hit yet, have they?
Well, they got hit, but like not really hit.
Right. So they'll
You know
probably
what I mean?
get hit again here, maybe next week or something like that when Celestalon gets back from vacation.
Right. Peace out, warriors.
I'm out of here. Next time around, rogues. So I don't know who else. Warlocks, have they been hit? I know that they're trying to figure those guys out as
They
well.
did early on, but I don't think they've gotten the big kablamo that everyone else is getting.
Right.
But it's supposedly coming for Warlocks, so we'll see.
Right. And there was another thing this week about the alpha and about how we should be thinking about it as far as from a theory crafting viewpoint, and that is when it comes to game responsiveness.
Yes.
Now, and Celestalon kind of talked about it on this show when he was on, about the new system that they're dealing with and trying to make everything faster. But Darius, do you know, you're kind of the computer guy on the show, do you know what's going on with the technical stuff, kind of?
Yeah, so when you were, before any of these changes have gone into effect, say you would cast, like, this happened all the time with Priest and Void Shift. You would Void Shift the tank, but you would get healed, or rather your health would go down, but the tank would never get the heal. And, it always seemed like there was this delay between what you were doing and how it affected everyone around you. And that, you weren't crazy. What Blizzard was doing was they were basically taking everything everyone did in a span of 400 milliseconds, and they were batching it all together and sending that out to the server, and then from the server out to all the other clients. So there was always this built-in, like, basically half-second lag on everything you did, which is, it's one of the reasons there's a global cooldown in the game and things like that. So there was always this lag. So again, it wasn't you weren't crazy. It was actually built in. But what they've done now, because servers have gotten better, the internet's gotten better, they've gotten much better at compressing data and sending it to their servers faster and back to the clients faster. Everything is now done almost in real time. So there's, between what you do and what actually gets sent, there's only about 1 to 10 milliseconds lag between all that. So overall, everything you do is going to seem a lot faster. And we're talking the difference between 400 milliseconds and 10 milliseconds. That's massive when it comes to, getting heals off in just the right time and things like that. It's only half a second, but that half a second, often means the difference between a tank dying or not.
Right.
So your game should feel a lot better because they're now instead of batching up all the commands in groups and setting them every 400 seconds, they're batching up things like heals. So instead of like a priest renew ticking at a weird time, and then their other or druids are better, like all their hots ticking at different intervals, they all now tick at the same interval. They just do, they scale their healing to make up for it.
Right.
So they don't have to deal with all these different numbers coming in. They're all much more consistent as to when they're going to happen. So that makes up for it. It allows them to group things together and provide a much more fluid gameplay for everyone else.
And I like
That's
that.
what's going on.
I like that. That's
Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
So
Go ahead.
No, please.
I was just going to say, it sounds really, that sounds really he is the technical director though, right? So he's, or one of the technical gameplay guys. So it just sounds kind of like totally over my head. Cool though.
Well, they're calling me my face. They're calling me Clueless Colt. Thanks, chat room. When Darius was going over that stuff, I guess I was like, I have no idea. But the thing one of the big things about WoW, and I think one of its big strengths, is its responsiveness. It feels tight. You know what I mean? It feels tight, feels good. I remember playing Star Wars: The Old Republic when it came out, and everything felt kind of loosey-goosey. You know what I mean? It felt like you were casting through slush, like it was just slow. So it already is very responsive compared to other MMOs out there, and now it's going to get even better. So that's a great thing. The greatest thing, though, is that this is written proof that it's not my fault that my heal didn't go off in time. Like I hit the button, it 400 MS lag. What do you want? It's not my bad.
Right. Thanks, Blizz.
Yeah, it's Blizz's fault.
Thanks, Blizz.
Thanks, Celestalon.
Oh, do we have to do? Oh, yeah, we should.
We have to.
I know.
Celestalon, Celestalon, Celestalon.
And also, thank you, Celestalon, for fixing the problem that you
That's
created.
true.
That it was all your fault in the first place, we're sure.
Clearly. Clearly. But that's good, man. More responsiveness is amazing. This game's already feels tight, feels good.
Yep.
And it's going to get even better. So that's a really great thing.
Right. And I think last episode, this is the last one? I think so. Yeah. So last up in the raiding news, well, it's not really raiding. Well, it is raiding, though. Because it's talking about loot. For Warlords. We all love the loot. And
All about the loot, baby.
right, exactly. So over at MMO Champion and at Wowhead, we have a bunch of new armor sets that have made it to the latest build. So, they're in the model. Wowhead is great, by the way. If you go to those guys, they have like the whole 3D modeling thing. So you can check it out. In your particular race and gender that you play, you can check out these different sets and stuff like that. It's really cool.
You can check out that great druid set.
Yeah. So we have mythic druid and warlock gear. We have priest and hunter tier gear, rogue and paladin PvP sets that have come out into this latest build, and that druid mythic thing, dude. This is
For like
I don't know. I don't know whether
Green Goblin kind of thing. I mean, this is.
Stay
horrid.
classy, druids.
I don't know. I don't know whether it's bad, if you know what I'm talking about, or if it's just bad. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Nope,
I mean,
it's bad.
It's just bad. Druids have wings anyway. I don't see why we need them on their sleeve. I don't.
I'll tell you guys, this druid set, it bugs me. It bugs me. It just does. It just something about it really, really bugs me.
Boo.
Dork of the week.
That's
Thank you.
That's you.
Come on. No, it's insane. It's literally, for those who are listening and haven't seen them yet, there's literal claxy bug wings off the back.
Yeah. It's like
that's what they like mosquito. Well, no, not mosquito.
It's like a dragonfly-ish. I don't know.
Yeah, more dragonfly.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
You combine this with the legendary cloak proc, and a druid's behind is going to be busier than Miley Cyrus twerking.
That's true.
Oh,
holy cow.
Oh boy, I don't know.
It's insane. So I don't know, druids. I feel for you guys. Now, have you seen the normal set? How does that look?
Yeah, the normal set is normal. I mean, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It looks like you have these giant. I don't know if it's wings or leaves or what. I just saw the briefly, so I don't know. But it looks like orange shoulders, and it looks actually pretty good. I like it. It. So
I mean, tier sets are all subjective. Like it's our opinions. You know what I mean? What I find is cool, you might find uncool. But I think we can all agree that this set is uncool. This looks terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it kind of. You're not kidding. It's kind of
it's a little dragonfly. I mean, they went for it. They went for it.
They went real dragonfly on this
They
one.
really went dragonfly.
They went a lot dragonfly.
So props to them for that. You know what I mean? Somebody in a meeting said, "How about dragonfly?" And they said, "Great."
Maybe a little too much dragonfly in your dragonfly here, guys.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need if you're gonna put the wings on, make it have the animation too. That'd be great. I'd love that. Because then that wouldn't be annoying at all.
No, not at all. And then maybe you constantly hear, you just hear that.
The only way this is acceptable.
You're always like swatting at your headphones. So you're like, going,
right.
Is there a mosquito in here? What's going on?
You hearing that? What?
The only way it's acceptable is if you could actually fly with these things.
Well, that would be great. That'd be great.
Right.
Something silly, but these are. This is.
It's
so bad.
it's not like not like druids need wings. We don't. We can make our own. We have our own. It's fine.
I mean, have a drink, get a good buzz on. Maybe it'll look better.
Oh boy. I don't know. All right, but speaking of mysterious tier sets, the priest, the veil. What's up with the veil? What's behind the veil, Darius? What's going on?
It's a priest.
It's
actually a warlock. There's a warlock behind the veil. That's what they're They're not telling you.
It's a belly dancing priest, is what it is.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Clearly.
You need the music.
Are you happy with this set, Darius, as a priest?
I don't care about sets much anymore since they introduced transmog.
Yeah.
Like they've, in all honesty, aside from the latest druid where they tried to be real bad, it doesn't seem like they've tried real hard on a lot of these sets. I haven't been really impressed with them. So
like the mage set has like tons of crystals and animations going on with that, and the shaman has the standard. I think it's like earth stuff going on with the shoulders as well, and
wait a minute! I just took a good look at this priest set. This set looks awesome. What are you talking about?
No,
this set looks great.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? It looks awesome.
Kind of like. It looks a lot like the ICC tier with the same kind of coloring and stuff with the purple set.
I like the veil.
You
That's
like the
cool.
veil?
I do. Although if you notice in the human model, you can just see the mustache coming out the side. little bit of mustache right there.
Yeah.
On the left and right.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I like it, man.
The porn stash just kind of makes its way out.
Yeah, it's just creeping out. Just letting you know, hey, I'm still here. The party's still going. Don't worry. I dig it.
I like it. And what else do we have? We had the Warlock set as well. That always freaks me out, the Warlock set.
A lot of people saying, I was talking to Bay from Final Boss TV, said it looks a lot of Warhammer 40K. Gotta admit, I agree.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It does.
There are a lot of skulls on that Warlock set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As always, I think Warlocks and Death Knights usually have all the skulls, and then Hunters have all the horns. And there's more horns on the Hunter tier set than anything else.
Yeah, they've once again with Hunters done this imbalanced shoulder thing, where there's not visual parity between the left side and the right side. And I don't know why they do that with Hunters only.
Because they're hunters. It's made up from the bits and pieces of their hunt.
Of their kills,
right? Of their kills.
Yeah, exactly.
They're hunters.
The Warlock one is too, is all these skulls that they obviously did terrible things to collect, but
right. That's true.
Right.
But these are like, people in the plains. You know what I mean? They're strapping together bits of leather from their kill and putting it on. So I don't know. I think the hunter set looks cool. I don't mind the weird shoulder sizes. I don't mind that,
I think hunters are just kind of used to it by now, so
yeah, I don't know why they've always done that to hunters.
Well, I know Solar Flare has always been a big proponent. He wants like the Errol Flynn look.
Yeah,
for hunters.
Yeah, he wants the green tights. He wants the feather in the cap. He wants everything.
Yes, he wants everything. So he can look like he does in real life and in game at the same time. So it'll be perfect.
Because he wears green tights, but only when playing WoW. It's weird.
Right. But I kind of agree with Solar, though. Like, he's kind of looking for that classic, like Robin Hood look. You know what I mean? That classic hunter look.
Right.
And it works. It's a good look for hunters. That's,
Yeah. I like it. And one thing that I forgot about, and I don't know if you guys forgot about this as well, but a while ago when Ian Hazzikostas was doing his whirlwind tour of podcasts and stuff, he actually talked about how PvE and PvP are going to be sharing some of the art, but just doing color changes. And I think part of the reason that they're doing that is because of transmog. But so PvE and PvP are going to be essentially the same, just different colors. So when you take a look at the PvP sets, it's going to be the same type of build for the PvE component as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just something to keep in mind when taking a look at all that stuff. And
are you guys cool with that? Is that coolio?
Transmog. I mean,
yeah, right.
Transmog.
And it's wasn't that kind of harkening back to BC as well? Didn't PvP and PvE gear kind of share similar styles? Yes. So they've done it before. They're doing it.
There have always been ways to kind of get, well, not so much recently, but in the past, there were always ways like if you wanted tier 1, you could do this, or you could collect this quest gear or these BOEs or whatever that had the same visual style, but they were just colored differently. There were always recolors and stuff of all this gear. So it's totally fine if they want to keep doing that again. Yeah.
I agree, man. I really dug that. And even for transmog purposes, I would find this tier gear and like, oh, I can get the same thing doing battlegrounds and gaining honor, and I still look awesome. You know, it's just a different shade, a different color. So I like it. I like it as far as, you know, because some people in chat room are like, lazy Blizzard, you're so lazy. But I think it's fine, you know? I think it's another way for people to get this gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different color, but it looks cool. So
Yeah, I know that there were those were the complaints this week. It was oh, this is, you know, the changing of the color is just so lazy, and then it was the other thing was oh, I'm not an alpha yet. How dare you? And the other one was talking about warriors, especially. And I don't know. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on this week.
Yeah, they caught a lot of heat this week.
People were just up in arms about all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
It was great. It was awesome. So
I think they caught a lot of heat. I think those CMs were working overtime this week.
I think so.
Dealing with the community.
But yeah, lots of little stuff going on this week in WoW, and I think next up we'll get to your questions. But first, I want to bring up another one of our sponsors, and that is Audible. And if you go to audible.com/gamebreaker, you can try Audible free for 30 days and get a free audiobook, which is awesome. And we've been talking a lot about the WoW books over the last few weeks. Of course, we have what's the latest one? I can't even remember anymore. The latest one is War Crimes. And then there's also the Vol'jin bit, which is always good. Shadows of the Horde. And there's, believe it or not, there's you know, like leveling and gold guides as well for World of Warcraft. It's so strange to hear it, but then you hear this British woman talking about how to make gold in WoW.
Right. Like, hi, I'm Susan from Susan Express. We're going to be talking about gold making.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so you can go to audible.com/gamebreaker and pick up your free audiobook and try Audible free for 30 days. And it's really great. Especially because you guys listen to podcasts and watch them, and I think this is going to be right up your alley. I've been a member for years and really do enjoy it, especially on those long car rides and stuff like that. Colt, I know that you've done that for you know, like driving to work in LA traffic, and
that's right.
And so that's always fun. Let's give a listen here, and let's see. Last week I did War Crimes, so this week I'll do Vol'jin Shadows of the Horde. Here we go.
Lily, in their eyes, was purely one of the turtle's wild dogs. Impulsive and practical, quick to action, and a bit prone to overestimation of her own abilities, Lily was a fine example of a Pandaren accepting the philosophy of Huaojin. It was people of such an adventurous spirit who had departed on the turtle or adventured in Outland. Such conduct, in the minds of the Chang sisters, simply was not to be condoned or given any credit.
No, it was not.
No, not one bit.
No, not one bit. Talking about Lily, and yeah, great character. So that's from Vol'jin Shadows of the Horde, but you can pick up your own book just by going to audible.com/gamebreaker. Get your free book. Try Audible free for 30 days. Please do it. And now we'll get to some questions.
We've got mail.
We do, and if you have questions, if you have any questions for us about rating or really anything else, you can always just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us, converttораid@gmail.com, call our raid line, 612-787-RAID. Or you can join our live show, try to flag us down somehow, and we'll see if we can answer it on the show. This week, we've got a tweet. Coltrane, you want to read this tweet for us?
Sure, this is from NWZ, all caps, lowercase ZZ.
Right.
It's
a great name.
It is. He says, with LFR gear being less powerful than heroic gear in Warlords, wouldn't it be harder to grind rep/quests for solo players?
All right. So, Darius, what do you think about this whole thing? Will it be hard for people that are just going through with LFR gear, or is it going to be? I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be hard. I mean, quests and rep grinds and things like that have always been on the low end of difficulty because most people do them solo. They get easier as you get more gear, but I don't think they're going to be difficult at all. I don't think they're going to be any harder.
Right.
You know, especially in just, you know, leveling the blues and greens you get from leveling and the few purples you get, or even just the LFR you get. I think that's going to be more than enough to grind rep and do quests. I don't think any of them have been that hard.
Okay.
So I don't think it's going to make it harder.
Coltrane?
Well, this is a great point that I think a lot of people may not know, and this is really exciting, actually. LFR gear will be less powerful than heroic dungeons. BLM Shield Spec in the chat room just said, I prefer getting raid ready in dungeons rather than LFR. And that's what you're going to be doing, which is great. You want to get geared up, you're going to run dungeons, not LFR. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I was going to say, I think News was trying to say with the gear that you're getting from Siege of Orgrimmar right now, what's that going to be like for the leveling process going into Warlords? I was about to say WoD. I didn't say it. I didn't say it though.
Thank you.
I said Warlords. So going into Warlords, is it going to be tougher for people? And I think the answer is, well, yeah, it's going to be less fast for everybody. But really, what it comes down to is that in the alpha right now, you start with an eye level of 500.
Yes, exactly.
And so if you are able to kill stuff in quick fashion with an item level of 500, then you should have no problem doing it in 522, 528, 535, or 570 gear. But of course, if you have more gear, you're going to be able to blaze through it a lot faster.
Right.
So that's the only thing.
That's a big point to make, is that all these pre-med characters are in eye level 500. It seems that they're tuning this content, at least in the starter area, because as a pre-made at 500 eye level, I could kill the mobs no problem. It was good. It was no problem at all. So I really don't think, yes, of course it'll be more difficult because you won't have all this hardcore gear, but it's not going to be impossible. You know what I mean? So yes, as you get more gear, things are going to go faster. You'll kill everything faster, but I think you're going to be just fine because of those pre-made starting at eye level 500.
Right.
So I think we're going to be good. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
Cool. And Darius, we have another one. Let's do the one below the one in green. So the one in pink, I guess.
Okay.
Dusty Rose. I don't know. Can you help us out with that one?
What?
It's in like a purple.
That's like a color.
Yeah, it's a color.
Oh,
Dusty
okay.
Rose.
Are you one of those, like, that's not white, that's eggshell white? Are you like one of those guys?
Dude, I just bought a new place. Of course I am like that.
True.
I have the paint colored swatches all over my house.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to paint this a nice dusty bottom color. Nice brown.
Dusty bottom.
Yes, it would be perfect. Nice light shade of brown.
That's exactly what I want. Dusty bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Gross.
Mm-hmm. Dusty Bottoms. Wasn't he one of the three amigos?
Three amigos. That's right. Dusty Bottoms. That's exactly right.
All right, Darius, go ahead.
Good.
This is from Oximus on Garana US.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to episode 146 on my daily commute this morning and was thrilled to hear that a couple classic dungeons are being revamped.
Yeah.
Not because I have any desire to see those particular dungeons again, but because of the hope that Blizzard may someday use the existing lore of Medivh's castle. Do you think Blizzard will ever show us Karazhan's mirror that extends into the depths of the world? Thanks.
Now, do you guys know about the mirror of Karazhan? It's essentially, I think you could glitch into it back in the day. I'm not sure if you still can. Where you could kind of glitch into this thing that was kind of like the inverse of Karazhan. So you start at the top and then you go down. You can continue down into the depths. And I was under I thought initially when I heard about this expansion, I was like, wouldn't that be cool if they did that? I still think it would be cool. That'd be great. Do it like a Karazhan revamp, essentially.
Well, I think it'd be awesome. I mean, for one thing, Ben Foster said he is playing the character of Medivh.
Yeah.
In the new movie. Who knows? Maybe Blizzard, maybe they're going to do some kind of tie-in or something. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? I think we're not done with Karazhan, So
right.
that's a classic dungeon. That's a classic raid that everybody loves, and it's just known. So I think that we're going to be going back there for sure.
And they still could do it. I mean, because we know about a couple of the raid instances, the first ones that we're going to see, but we know nothing about what's going to be going on the rest of the time. So we might be able to see this still. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it'll come in as a dungeon. Probably not. Ubers is coming back, though. Upper Black Rock Spire.
Ubers
is coming back. I'm kind of excited about that. Darius, what do you think?
Darius, why the sigh on Ubers?
What's going on?
It's Ubers.
I hate that place.
You don't like Ubers?
I don't know of anybody that likes that place.
Ubers and Lubers? Lobers? I don't know what it is.
Ubers and Dubers?
It was terrible then. It's gotten worse since people try to quest through it and have no idea, or dungeon through it, and they have no idea where they're going, and it's just, there's nothing good about it.
It's cool that they're revamping it.
I mean, yeah,
sure. Maybe you'll hate it less now that it's revamped. I don't know. We'll see. But it's kind of cool. I mean, the nice part about this whole expansion is that we're able to kind of re-examine old content in a new light. So before the destruction of Draenor, now we have all of the, like, it's cool to see the zones, how they were before the big, the big explosion, the big to-do. And yeah, I'm liking it so far. All the old stuff kind of revamped.
The Kiri CTR in our chat room said that the Karazhan Mirror will be the final raid spot of Warlords of Draenor. It will be the place that we close down that timeline.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
That could be cool.
Ooh, pretty good.
Cool. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I'm liking it.
Pretty good.
All right. So let's go on to one more. We'll do one more for sure. And this is from Baltero, a warlock. He says, firstly, thanks for the show. It's really great. And you're welcome, of course. I've been playing WoW since Classic, and in that time, I've noticed more and more things that you can buy in the game. Transfers, faction changes, race changes, name changes, mounts, pets, etc. now boost to 90. These things that would be acceptable in a game like GW2, like Guild Wars 2. All this is on top of the game and its monthly subscription fee, plus AAA box prices for expansions. Lately, I've been feeling a bit angry towards Blizzard for the increased time without actual content introduction between expansions. It feels like they've become a bit arrogant at the ease of which fans hand over cash for things and seem to be milking this a bit excessively now. The boost to 90 thing seemed quite cynical to me to keep people playing and grabbing cash as well. And I'm sure that, the in-game upgrades and like all this other stuff probably is along the same lines. Do you think that we, as customers, bear some responsibility for this because we keep buying all this stuff? I'm guilty too. So he's doing it himself. But do you think they would take us more seriously if, say, nobody had bought the pre-order for Warlords as a protest? What do you guys think? So if we had not bought Warlords of Destruction, the pre-order, do you think that Blizz would have said, we have a problem here?
We'd go on strike. We'd chain ourselves together.
Yeah.
We are not buying Warlords.
That would never happen, by the way.
Right.
That would never happen. Nowhere on the internet. I mean, this show, we finally had a thing where we all agreed. I don't think that, and that's only 3 people. If you took...
that's the most you can get to agree on the internet at any time. It's law. It's...
Right.
There's a physics law governing that.
Right. There is. So... It'd be tough. Colt, what do you think about kind of banding together? I guess
this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that I've learned about life. It's all about perception, right? It's not about facts. It's not about what actually somebody is saying. It's about how you perceive what they're saying.
Okay.
If you've made up in your mind that person is a jerk and they're trying to screw you, then no matter what they say, they're going to be a jerk and they're trying to screw you. So I think if you have a perception that Blizzard is out there and they're being arrogant and they're saying, screw these players, we don't care, then no matter what they do, that's how you're going to feel that they are. I and myself and Pat actually got to go down to Blizzard and we got to meet these devs. We got to meet the CMs. We got to see what's going on. And they took us through their day-to-day. These guys bust their butts every single day for the players. And players don't agree with that. They say, no, Blizzard is being this and they're being that. I don't think that a game company is intentionally in any way trying to screw players or, right. Oh, no, screw the players. We could care less. They understand that the players, you keep them happy, they continue to play their game. You know what I mean? It's a business. The reason they haven't released Warlords is because it's not ready yet. That doesn't mean that they're just kicking back, drinking Mai Tais all day and raking in this cash. They are busting their butts to try and get this thing out. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's like any business. So go ahead.
And it's kind of like with the tier sets when people say that they're lazy for doing just a recolor for PvP versus PvE or whatever. I mean, that whole thing, you don't realize how much work actually goes into those tier sets and those different armor pieces. So, you know, it may seem like to some that they're trying to alienate you or whatever, but that's not their gig, man. That's not what they're trying to do at all. They're just trying to make you guys enjoy the game as much as possible.
And that goes for any company, any MMO company out there. That's not just Blizzard. Right. Any person that puts out a product wants to be successful with that product. And how are you successful? By appeasing your players. You guys need to know that Blizzard is trying everything they can to get Warlords out as soon as they possibly can.
Right.
So it's all about perception. So if you choose to perceive that Blizzard are a bunch of jerks, arrogant a-holes, then that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. That's and then I may choose to perceive it a different way, and that person perceives it a different way. Yeah. But just take a step back and understand that they are a business. Players drive that business. They're trying to get this stuff out as quickly as possible.
Right. They should just have a Steam sale. I mean, they should have something like the Steam sale. It'd be raking in the cash, right, Darius? I mean, come on.
Now, so from the other side, though, you've got a lot of people seem to think that, Blizzard is working on a new mount they're going to sell right now. And people seem to think that means all of Blizzard is working on that one mount, which is not the case. Blizzard is a huge company. They might have 10 people working on the mount, but there's 600 more that are working on other things as well. So, it's not an either or kind of thing. But to Colton and Zug's point, Blizzard is a company. They have shareholders they have to report to. Yep. They have to make money. They're gonna sell things. Now, the writer is correct, though. If nobody bought the first mount that came out for sale, Blizzard would stop making them because it didn't make them any money. They would lose money on it. If nobody bought a boost to 90, they wouldn't add things like that to the game because there's no demand for it there.
Right.
Now, we all do that, though, and I probably personally keep them financially afloat, but it's just how it is. They're a company. They're gonna make money, and if they sell something and you buy it, then that is something they're going to continue to sell until you don't buy it anymore. That's just how it works.
Yep. You support Blizzard just with hats. That's it.
Yeah. With hats alone, with vanity items, vanity hats. I keep them afloat.
I will say that Blizzard has made a big mistake here in releasing content so quickly in Mists of Pandaria, and that's why we have such a major gap here for Warlords. You know, if they delayed that content, I think we'd be in a much better place right now. So I think that's a big mistake on Blizzard's part, and I think they know that.
Right.
So,
well, and you can't really blame them for doing it. What they wanted to do is they wanted to make sure that everybody had content and they could keep everybody like really chugging along at this really good fast pace. But it all kind of hit the fan when they went into alpha of the next expansion, and they just couldn't keep up that pace anymore. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I think there were some technical things, and garrisons came along and they wanted to do more with those. So it's the plans changed a little bit, and unfortunately we're the ones who are kind of feeling the stretch as they try to make it kind of work.
And they really shot themselves in the foot when they said they would never do anything like Ruby Sanctum again. And that's something like that would serve them really well right now in this downtime. Some small raid instance or some other content, but they said they'd never do that again, so they can't. I mean, they could, but they'd go back on that. They're now so focused on Warlords that there's not going to be anything for MoP. And
no,
I agree. The time between, basically TOT should have come out much later than it had.
Much.
And people are saying in the chat room, like, well, wait a minute, Blizzard gets millions and millions of dollars. Why don't they just hire more people? And why is this taking so long? They actually have hired a lot more people. The departments are bigger. But they, you can't just be like, well, they've got millions of dollars and they should just do that's crazy.
Well,
you know not how it works.
Because you don't want to hire temporary employees. You want to make sure that it can last, right? So if you hire a million people, let's say, for 3 months, then it doesn't make any sense from a business standpoint. So I don't know.
And there's a specific culture within Blizzard. There's a specific culture with their games, and if you hire a brand new person that only works there for 6 months to put something out, they don't embody that culture. They don't embody the Blizzard, way of doing things. So you end up with a product that is substandard to what you would normally release, but you've spent so much time on it now that it's coming out. And then you leave customers with this negative experience or a less than Blizzard experience, and that just devalues everything going forward. So this sucks, but it's how it is.
Curie CTR said they needed to let Toes and Tot last 2 months longer apiece. I completely agree. And I understand people's frustrations, and that's a good thing. People are upset. People are passionate gamers. It's a passionate community. They want to play this game and they can't. They want to try some new content and they can't. And they get frustrated and they get angry and they say, "Oh, Blizzard, this and that." Like that's actually, it's a good thing, but we just got to remember to take a step back, and they are not intentionally trying to screw you. I know that sounds crazy, but that I don't believe that is their intent. They don't show up every morning and say, "All right, how are we going to screw players today?"
It's really great that we have so many passionate players, and we see them in the chat room. We talk to them in the guild. We talk to them all over the place. And so, thank you for being passionate players, because we like that too. We are passionate players, but unfortunately, lately it's been a lot of like kind of this big downer, and I think we just need to remember that. That Warlords is coming out. We've actually been able to see it a little bit. We're starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's actually looking really good. So.
Yeah, and no one wants Warlords to come out more than us, more than like podcast hosts. Yeah. Trust me. We want something to talk about.
We're going week to week. Okay, let's scrape the bottom of this barrel and see what's going on.
Right. Actually, what do we do now?
Actually, this week it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been bad since the alphas come out. It's been pretty good. So
a guy did pick herbs to 90. Let's lead with that. All right. That'll be our right out of the gate. That'll be our
that's how you know an expansion has gone too long.
Oh boy.
Right.
You know how if a show's gone too long? This.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to 5-star reviews and get the heck out of here. Darius, did you did your job. Awesome. I did
the thing.
All right. Who do we have to thank for 5 stars?
We have the Furious D, Darren Eld, Adrian made this, and Barry Dova.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for your 5-star reviews on iTunes. Thanks. If you're commenting, liking, sharing, all that kind of stuff, our video stuff on YouTube. And shout outs this week. Colt, did you have one?
I got a shout out to Hathcock and his raid team Boarded Sword.
Oh boy.
They are listeners to the show. I saw him in the little Pandarian shrine, and he said hello. So big shout out to that guy and to his raid team. They're on a little hiatus until after the 4th.
Okay.
And then they're going to start crushing it again and start raiding again. So good luck to those guys.
And a big happy birthday to Blatty from Method. It was his birthday. So a big round of applause for you. Happy birthday. Way to level up.
Blatty.
Good stuff. And
I love that guy. Best mage in the world, Blatty.
And Warlock. Oh my God, he's amazing at Warlock. Oh jeez, any spellcaster, he's good. And thank you guys for all that you do for the show. We cannot do the show without you. Thanks for taking the time to rate us on iTunes. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the questions. And feel free to join in on every single conversation we're having at any time. And you can do that in a plethora of ways. But first, I got to bail on the music.
Are you just gonna bail out of that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Someone asked on Twitter where this started.
I don't know.
And why? Why do we bail out of that?
Because I always want to play the jazzy music.
Right. I think this is something that started like episode 3, almost 3 years ago.
It was like this music just keeps on going on forever and ever, and I want to play the jazzy music going on.
Right.
Something like this.
You said I'm going to bail out. Then I said, wait, you're just gonna bail out? And we've been doing it every single show.
We've been doing it for 3 years.
3 years.
This joke has been going on for 3 years.
Yes,
like every other tired joke on this show.
What?
Yep. We don't have any of those. It's tradition. That's why. All right. You can always email us at converttораid@gmail.com. Leave us comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at ConvertToRaid or individually, isn't that right, Coltrane?
You can follow Pat Crane at Pat Crane. You can follow Coltrane at _Coltrane. And you can follow Dairies at Board Mind.
Yes, and make sure to join the Bazubu Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com, where we have show downloads, we have our forums, we have tons of links for raiders, and so much more. It's all over at converttoraid.com. Our live feed and video show is also on gamebreaker.tv. Please watch, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you do with YouTube. I have no idea.
YouTube is...
Yeah.
The YouTube. I don't know what to do with it.
YouTube. What is that? Giant play button. That's it. All right. No, the audio show is available on Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iTunes, all sorts of different places like that. And that's going to be it for the show. That's it. That's all we got. See you later. Bye. Oh, no. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next show next week at our regular time, Sunday, 11 a.m. Central. And for all the guys, thank you very much for joining me today.
Go USA.
It's always nice to have you on the show.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, USA today at 3.
That's a
so when they hear this on the podcast, they would have had the results already. This will air on Monday.
Way to go, USA! Way to
USA!
Way to do that! Make that score that you made.
Unbelievable.
That was craziness. It was absolute craziness. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. For all the guys that Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.